whenever you talk to the Michigan coaches about, hey, what's so impressive about J.J. McCarthy? They're like, well, obviously the arm talent's insane. We don't really have to use as much because we got to get a run game. By the way, we run the ball a lot. He doesn't bitch at all. He's a potential top 10 quarterback, a top guy.
Yep.
We run it 30 straight times. J.J. McCarthy does not care as long as we win games. And also, whenever he was a freshman, he went into a huddle in the middle of the game. And I guess the way he commanded the huddle, like senior offensive linemen who wanted to hate this little pretty boy come in there were like, damn, we like the way this guy operates. I guess his intangibles of leadership and being a dude have been very evident since high school. And I think what Aaron Jones said to the Speakeasy podcast is they were losing in the fourth quarter, and he looked into the huddle and he said,
third. I think it was third. So when stuff wasn't going great still.
Yeah, maybe whatever, third or fourth quarter, they were losing though, whatever. It was not a good time. And he looked around and he said, is there anywhere else you'd rather be, to the huddle? And then he gives the play call and then he gets right in there. And Aaron Jones was like, damn. And Aaron said that he had been speaking about his leadership and how he's a different mental capacity than anybody he's ever been around. It's like, that's what everybody has said about this guy.
Yeah.
So in the fourth quarter, whenever it shows up the way that it shows up, everybody that had been talking about him, high school, college, Herb Street, literally everybody that know him is like, that's the most predictable J.J. McCarthy shit that there is. That's how they talk about it.
I told him at halftime, you are going to bring us back to win this game. And the look in his eye was fantastic. And the best thing is just the belief I felt from the team.
J.J. McCarthy.
Your son.
Listen, everybody around these parts know I'm a University of Michigan guy through and through. So obviously I'm rooting for the guy. And obviously I was beyond crestfallen for this guy. The champion quarterback of Team 144 of the University of Michigan, national champions, last undefeated national champion, and maybe the last ever such. Mindfulness, stay calm, believe in yourself. Hopefully you do have people in your corner like Kevin O'Connell looks you in the face saying, we're good. You're good. It sure did not look going into the fourth quarter of that game last night. 6 3-and-outs and a pick six. Not your night. Bears fans going crazy. Your family's in the stands, and everybody in Minnesota is going, really? Pining for Sam Darnold. And wondering, does the kid really have it? Is this really, we really changed course for this?
A Steely Dan album.
And by the end of the day and the evening, J.J. McCarthy became the first quarterback since 1950, at least, to come back from a 10 or worse point deficit in the fourth quarter of their NFL debut on the road. The only other quarterback since the middle of the last century to do what McCarthy did at all, and he did it at home. The only other quarterback in their NFL debut to come back from a 10-point deficit in the fourth quarter is named Steve Young, who did it in 1985. As J.J. McCarthy became just the first in week one, became just the third first-round quarterback to win their first NFL start, not in their rookie season, since Aaron Rodgers and Phillip Rivers did it. And the Vikings come up with their first victory, trailing by 10 or more points in the fourth quarter since Week 15, 2022 against Indianapolis. Remember that one? It was on NFL Network.
Are you confident Minnesota has found their franchise guy in J.J. McCarthy?
No, not yet. I don't think one game tells us that story. Major credit to J.J. McCarthy. No doubt about it. I was wondering all off season. I'm like Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer per se. You let Sam Darnold walk out the door after throwing 35 touchdowns, just 12 interception, fellas. I'm thinking, okay, this brother better be something special because even though he was drafted, he didn't play a game last year because of the meniscus tear. So how is it, in God's name, are you placing this amount of faith in this dude that hasn't thrown a single NFL pass? You got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison ultimately will be back in a few weeks, etc. I'm like, how the hell you make this decision? I got to see him. And in that fourth quarter, especially, J.J. McCarthy showed me something, no doubt about that. But this is the National Football League. You guys know it better than me. You get film. We get to watch you, see some of your habits, et cetera, et cetera. Let's see what you do as the season progresses. I don't think that's we know definitively, but the bottom line is he put forth a good showing last night. I don't want to take anything away from him. He deserves all the credit in the world.
The NFL spotlight burns bright, and on the 8th of September 2025, it scorched Soldier Field in Chicago. J.J. McCarthy, the kid from LaGrange Park, Illinois, just 20 miles from the Bears' den, stepped into his NFL debut with the weight of a franchise on his shoulders. The Minnesota Vikings, coming off a 1-4-3 season, made a seismic choice. Ditch Sam Darnold, who threw 35 touchdowns to just 12 picks for a 2-2-year-old who hadn't thrown a single NFL pass. A meniscus tear stole his rookie year, leaving fans screaming, "Why risk it all on an..." This wasn't just a win. It was a statement. Is J.J. McCarthy the Vikings franchise savior? Or is this one-game wonder too good to be true? But hold on, can one electric quarter define a career? Let's dive into the fire that fuels this kid's heart and why his own teammates are ready to run through grizzled seniors who wanted to hate the pretty boy quarterback. But his poise, his fire, it shut them up fast. Fast forward to the 8th of September 2025, down 1-7-6 against the Bears. With Bears fans smelling blood, McCarthy looks his teammates in the eyes and says, "Where would you rather be?" Chills. Aaron Jones, on the Speakeasy podcast, said that moment was pure magic. McCarthy's mental toughness is on another level. His high school coaches, Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, Kirk Herbstreit, they all say the same thing. This kid's leadership is contagious. He's 6'4" as a starter since high school, a .964 winning percentage, the highest in NCAA FBS history. That's not luck. That's a winner. But here's the kicker. In the NFL, leadership alone doesn't cut it. Defenses now have film on him. Can his arm and legs keep up with his heart? McCarthy's got the intangibles, no question. But let's talk about the gamble that's got Vikings fans holding their breath. 24, leading the Vikings to a 1-4-3 record. So why let Darnold walk to Seattle and hand the keys to a kid who missed his entire rookie season? It's clear. McCarthy's potential is worth the risk. The Vikings roster is stacked Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, and a revamped offensive line with Ryan Kelly and Donovan Jackson. They're built to win now. But McCarthy's debut right that had Bears fans dancing. Critics pounced. Is this kid ready? Yet O'Connell never blinked. At halftime, he looked McCarthy in the eyes and said, "You're going to win this game." And damn did he deliver. Still, the NFL is unforgiving. With injuries piling up, Blake Cashman, thank you Chandler out, Harrison Smith and Christian Darrisaw questionable, can McCarthy carry this team through the storm? The Vikings are all in on McCarthy, but the NFC North is a gauntlet. Can this kid outshine the doubters and keep Minnesota in the hunt? McCarthy's debut was a roller coaster. First 3 quarters, a nightmare. Just 48 passing yards, sacked 3 times, and that pick 6, that felt like a dagger. Vikings fans were screaming for Darnold, wondering if O'Connell's gamble was a bust. Then, the fourth quarter hit like a thunderbolt. McCarthy went 6 of 8 for 87 yards, tossing a 13-yard laser to Justin Jefferson and a 27-yard beauty to Aaron Jones. He capped it with a 14-yard rushing touchdown, darting through a gap carved by T.J. Hawkinson. The result? 21, becoming just the 3rd first-round QB to win his first NFL start in his 2nd season, alongside Aaron Rodgers and Phillip Rivers. Oh, and he earned NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. But here's the rub. One game doesn't make a season. Can he keep this fire burning against a hungry Atlanta Falcons team in Week 2? McCarthy's debut was a spark, but the Vikings' road ahead is treacherous. With injuries mounting, can this team stay in the Super Bowl hunt? The Vikings are no strangers to heartbreak, one of the NFL's dirty dozen. They've never won a Super Bowl. Now, with a roster dripping with talent, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Jones, and a defense led by with a beefed-up run game led by Jordan Mason's 68 yards on 15 carries, keeps defenses honest. But the NFC North is a meat grinder. Green Bay, Detroit, and even Chicago won't roll over. If McCarthy falters, the Vikings' Super Bowl dreams could crumble. If he rises, he might just be the NFL's comeback player of the year and Minnesota's ticket to the promised land. So, he's the key. Stay tuned for Week 2 against the Falcons, where this young gun faces his next test. Don't miss it, hit that subscribe button and join the Skull Nation.